Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
The #1 long-form writer that helps SEOs outrank competition at the click of a button using real-time research and NLP. Start ranking content today with contentatscale.ai.
Hello, brightonSEO. How are we doing today? Yeah, I'm doing okay too. It's been one of my long-standing aspirations to get up on this stage, so it feels absolutely amazing to finally be here. We're flying all the way from Toronto, so that's quite a few hours on a flight, and I do not enjoy flying. But my original slide, or my deck, was teetering on the edge of excessive. It was about 47 slides. There was no way I could fit everything into it, so this is a much shortened version, and if anyone after my talk wants to get their hands on it, I'm more than happy to share it with you. Please feel free to reach out to me on Twitter or LinkedIn. Before we begin, a quick side note. When I was practicing my deck with my husband, and I bored him to death, he's somewhere in the audience, he said I exhale too much, so I'm going to try and not breathe in the next 20 minutes while I deliver my talk. All right. So I work with a company called Aura. Aura is a US-based identity theft protection company that doesn't just offer that, but also credit monitoring, social security number monitoring, an antivirus, and a VPN, among other things. And I, along with two of my other coworkers, manage content end-to-end at the company. But aside from the fact that I work there, why are we talking about Aura today? Well, Aura did not have a content SEO program or a blog or a known SEO lever until the end of 2021. And fast forward to September 2023, well, they're not huge deals, but still, we have surpassed 850,000 monthly organic visits. About 77% of all our track keywords are among the top 10 position on US SERPs. About 1 in 3 of all our published posts bring in at least one last click conversion. And we've managed to replicate some of this success onto a subsidiary that Aura owns known as Identity Guard, which is identity theft protection targeted at seniors in the US. So now that we've covered why we're talking about Aura, let's get into the what. And when I thought about how I could break down what I call an iterative content strategy within the company, these were the 9 checkpoints that came to mind. Because we're short on time, I can't go through everything, but we will be making our way through a few of these. But #1, operating principles. What are the frameworks that establish content SEO as a core function at Aura? 2, who are the key players on the team carrying all the weight? Defining success, input versus output metrics for which the team is accountable. The content engine, what are the jobs to be done so as we're producing high quality content. Perfecting the process, workflows and documentation that we lean on heavily. Iterating, what are the wheels on this program that makes it successful? Hiring, who are we hiring outside of our key players to make sure that we have enough support? Building social equity, how is there collective faith within this function in the company? And finally, measuring success. So back in 2021, when our former VP of growth was put in charge of creating this function from the ground up, one of the key things that he did then was hire a content editor to begin this whole show. And while he's no longer working with the company, we're now 3 people full-time focused on producing content. And our official titles may look different, but what we do on a day-to-day basis can be subsumed into that of a content editor's role or that of a link builder. And what I've attempted to do here is give you a high-level look at our knowledge, job complexity, and supervision levels. And if I were to make a checklist out of that, this is what it would look like. So the 2 content editors, myself included, we work on net new content production, site health, producing outlines and editing, and managing freelancer, especially writers, as well as reporting on content and conversions from content. Our link builder manages offsite SEO end-to-end, produces guest post outlines, edits drafts for those guest posts, as well as conducts offsite SEO audits, as well as audits on Aura's content. As with any successful team, we can't go at it alone, and that's where we tap into these flexible contributors, some of whom we lean on more than the others. For instance, we work with at least 6 to 8 freelancers at any given point, and we chat with them almost on the daily. If you're wondering why 3 people and why such a lean team, this is why. For Aura's website size, net new content and backlinks are still top of mind and still 2 of the biggest levers that bring us growth. And we're also in a unique position where we're able to bear the cost of a fully fledged content SEO program while still being nimble. But what are we chasing? For now, Aura's priority remains net new content creation, and that coupled with a high intent business intent. And what's next could be content updates, segueing away from using blog as a medium to landing pages or conversion rate optimization tests. And I anticipate in the next 20 to 24 months, maybe all of us would moonlight as link builders and trying to replicate this program across other domains that we own. And because we like the idea of collective accountability across the team, this is just one way I've visualized how we spread our goals. And these are 6 sample metrics that the 3 of us own on the team. So you got number of outlines a week, number of published posts a week, biweekly keyword roadmap, site health, backlinks build, and net new content partnerships. So the whole idea here is not to do more, it's to do less, but better. And this is how we get it done. So I've always thought that a Gantt chart is notorious for oversimplifying things, and that's exactly what it's doing here. But this is everything that needs to happen before, during, and after we publish a blog post on Aura. And this is in a span of a week. And these are the 8 different cogs that need to work in harmony to make sure that we are producing the kind of high quality content we want. So in-house operators, that is all of us, the 3 of us holding the weight. Flexible contributors, the marketing developers, freelance writers that we work with, among other people. Our content's raison d'etre, which in our case is to make Aura an identity theft protection authority. Keystone documents, one of my favorite topics, is all our founding outlines, final drafts, process docs, link tracking sheets, etc. Content SEO tools, no explanation needed there, but full disclosure, I'm team Ahrefs. Workflow, all the different jobs to be done to make sure that the content gets out through the door. Project management, another fun part of our workflow is where all the fun happens, and we use Asana. And finally, reporting. A common question that comes my way is how long does it take to produce a high quality piece of content? And I know this question can get different types of answers from different team sizes, but for our size, it takes 5 to 7 days. And the number one reason we're able to do that is because we have very high quality baseline documents to go by. So this is an example of an outline that I created a couple of weeks ago. And by the way, we're already ranking for this topic on US SERPs, is on how can someone steal your house deed. And this is continued. And these are a few examples of final drafts and what they look like before they're ready to be published onto our CMS. Before you ask why I rushed through that, I wasn't rushing. I wanted to get your attention to these 2 checklists. If the internet has a lot of things on in an excessive amount, it is an outline template. So I didn't want to dare to create yet another outline template for you, but just show you the difference between some of those generic templates versus ours. So because Aura is in a very precarious position where people's identities and finances could be at risk when they stumble upon our content, it's important that we're not focusing on creativity, but more so content accuracy, which is why our outlines don't just have the usual, include these keywords, have this H2, here's another H3 you could use. I've just neatly laid it out on many bullets for you. No, we also explore different avenues that the writers can go into, verified sources that they should get their data from, just so that their liftoff from a blank page to a first draft is easier. And the same thing applies for our final drafts as well. The goal is to get from a final draft to the CMS as quickly as possible. And so you will see unique CTAs, the exact media we're going to use, the tables, HTML code blocks, all that fun stuff right on these final drafts. And I told you this is where all the fun happens. I have been using Asana for over 5 years, so I may be biased, but I have used other tools and none of them come close to the kind of efficiency that Asana offers us. And we don't just use Asana for Aura's publishing cadence. We use it for identity guards. We also have a third domain that Aura acquired a little less than a year ago, known as meetcircle.com, a parental controls app. So it's 3 domains with publishing cadences that we need to manage. We also use a similar Kanban style board to manage our writer assignments. And so you have everything right here. We've got target keyword, needs content brief, what is being written and by whom, what's in the editorial queue, and what needs to get into the CMS right now, and do we still need to add internal links to certain posts? So all of that rests on here, and this is how we stay sane. We spoke a little bit about the flexible contributors that we tap into from time to time, and this is the way that I like to delineate between the internal core players and external talent. And the way that I've divided this is by skills versus capabilities. Because we all come from, on my team, come from a content background, there are certain things that are innate to us, and that's listed on the left side right there. Foundational content strategy. We're used to building these content programs from the ground up at different companies. Sales Hacker and Nexiva are a few examples from my past, both of which are B2B companies, and this Aura would be my first direct-to-consumer adventure. But if we were to spend time also writing content, that would be highly unproductive for us. That's why we hire freelance writers. Meaningful editing for both SEO as well as conversion rate optimization. Again, a skill that comes naturally to most of us on the team, but we do need someone working alongside us for proofreading and stylistic changes who we tap into as a freelancer. On-page SEO, also a core competency for the team, but say we needed help with specific projects such as a recent accessibility project where we were optimizing our images a little better, converting it all into a WebP, or say a performance audit like that for Webflow, which I don't know how many of you know, but there are very few things you can do there to make a Webflow page faster. Link partnerships, yes, we do have somebody focused on it 100%, but when you want to do link building at scale, as most of you know, you need many hands on deck. And in terms of capabilities, well, Ahrefs is our go-to for link tracking or keyword tracking, but then if we needed specific insights on position tracking, that's where we lean on SE ranking. Content attribution, using all the staple tools that any of us would use within the team. But on top of it, if you wanted something more specific for attribution, that's where something like a hockey stack comes in. And if the team is well versed on balancing both search and customer requirements, why we need help from tools is such as with ClearScope or Google's NLP tool. And one of the final things that I want to talk to you about is building social equity. If there's a reason why Aura has managed to run this program successfully over a span of 24 months so far, it is because of these 4 things that Kevin and Dick spoke about on LinkedIn, and I couldn't agree more. SEO staffing, valid SEO levers, product retention, and a nimble team. In Aura's case, we have 3 people who think about content and SEO day in and day out, and we're thinking about different ways we could improve, what we did wrong, what we could do better, etc. Valid SEO levers. In Aura's case, for now, at least, our main anchor medium is the blog. And it works, we've shown that it works, and we want to expand it into more organic landing pages and other websites that we own. Product retention. Because Aura is Aura, it is not a one-time transaction, so by nature, we're in a position where we're looking at 12 to 24-month type of subscriptions. And finally, a nimble team. We're not just up against Google algorithm updates or external changes on the SERP, but also a team that's constantly pushing out new products and features, and it helps to have a plan in place, and that's exactly what we've been able to achieve. And that's a wrap, my friends. This is what I wanted to chat with you about today, an iterative content strategy. In my opinion, if you haven't taken anything else away from this talk, it has to be these 3 things, because SEO could be dying as we speak. No, I'm kidding. But underrated, often overlooked SEO tasks, like I mentioned before and shown, are what has brought us compounding results. I know there are a lot of teams out there who have the fortitude of doing all kinds of fancy experiments when you have a larger website or that kind of technical SEO resources. But if you veer on the side of content, more so than technical SEO, then this is what it looks like. Focusing only on traffic growth as a metric for the team can set you up for failure. The sooner you can think about conversions as one of your end goals, the better. We did have a runway of up to about 7 months to figure out whether or not we'd be able to convert from the blog, so it helped that we had that kind of time. And number 3, excelling on one medium is better than being average on many. And so in our case, we always get questions like, why not do this over video? Why not have influencer partnerships? Well, we will get there, but I feel like having one proven channel has made getting that yes or that budget from leadership so much more easier. And that's it. Thank you so much for having me. I hope this helps.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.